I know you guys have a lot to do, and you're very busy. My name is Perry Kurtz. I'm going to be your entertainer for a little while. As I said, my name is Perry.
Yay!
Thank you. Oh, you're great. I love you.
Oh, thank you.
My name is Perry, like as in Perry Como, Perry Mason, Perry Winkle. My mother uses a medication called Perry Anal Cream. She tells me that every time I call her, twice a day. Also, there's a very famous female comedian, or rather female pop star, by the name of Katy Perry. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's a woman. I'm a man. Don't make me prove that. I proved that last week. She looked down and said, "Oh, you're Jewish." Okay. If you got that joke, we're going to have a really good time. So I've been a comedian now for 43 years. This is all I've ever done. And I got started many, many years ago. When I was 10 years old, I was on a TV show back in Philadelphia. Anybody ever heard of Philadelphia? Yeah, Philadelphia is one of the original cities. They consider it advanced thinking, modern, progressive. You ever heard that term? Yeah, they're so modern, why haven't they fixed the Liberty Bell? Yeah, the one with the crack. You know, well, you can get crack where you see the Liberty Bell. They sell that down there too. But some glue, something, tape over it. My mother's back there. She's 86 years old, and I think she has dementia. Now, I say I think because I'm not sure, because I called her up one time and I said, "Hi, Mom." She goes, "Who's this?" I go, "This is Perry." "Perry? My son's name is Perry." "Yeah, Mom, this is your son. This is Perry. I'm calling you right now." "Okay, who's calling?" "Mom, this is Perry." "You said that. Do you know Perry?" "Mom, this is Perry." "Oh, is Perry there?" "Mom, this is Perry. I'm calling you right now." "Who's calling me right now?" "This is Perry." "Yes, I know. My son's name is Perry, too. What a coincidence." I go, "Mom, I have a brother named Victor. You know Victor, too?" So now I skip right past that. I go right to what's happening now. "Did you eat today?" And she goes, "Wait, let me look in the sink." And my mother's a little tiny woman. She was 4'11". Now she's 4'10". She's one of these women where she keeps getting bent over further and further and further. Eventually she'll be able to kiss her knees without struggling. But all her life, people told her she looks like Debbie Reynolds because she's got a round face, big cheeks and that little chin, and red hair. She still has red hair. And she says it's naturally that color, even though it's this color. And when Debbie Reynolds died, she called me up. She said, "Debbie Reynolds is dead. Now who do I look like?" I said, "Burt Reynolds." She goes, "He'll do." So when I was back in Philadelphia, I was on a show called The Gene London Show, which was a kids show. And they had kids on there, and I was on there as a Cub Scout in my little blue uniform. And they called a bunch of kids up on stage while he drew some cartoons. They gave me a little monkey to hold, a little chimpanzee. And I stood there, and the monkey was holding one of those big taffies, you know, with the swirl on it. And while I'm standing there, it took the taffy and stuck it against my head. And it stuck to my hair. And it's trying to get it off my hair. And I'm standing back in one camera, and it's pulling, and my head's going like this. And I'm just standing there like nothing's happening. My hat goes flying off into the crowd, and everybody's screaming. And that's when I realized people are laughing, and I like that. I like when people are happy. So all my life since then, people said, "You should be a comedian." And then in 1974, I quit my day job. I was an art director of a religious publishing house, and my job all day was to read the Bible and illustrate it in 3D. This is back in the old days, before they had cameras to make pictures. We had to draw stuff. Remember that stuff? And remember, a big camera to take pictures of stuff to print? The camera was as long as this table. Wasn't Instamatics like they got now. So I had to always illustrate Jesus and his buddies hanging out.
Okay. Jesus and his homeboys.
Right. Now, what made it a little bit strange is the company was owned by Jews, And I'm a Jew, but I'm a bad Jew. I don't eat anything that's kosher. Even my ex-wife is Gentile. And give you an example of how bad a Jew I am. On Easter, my daughter and I ate a pound of bacon for breakfast. Because bacon is the other white meat.
Okay.
So one day I was in the shower and I'd worked 18 hours that day. Taking a shower, I open my eyes and Jesus is nailed to the shower wall. Yeah, there's blood coming down into the tub. And he looks at me and goes, "Excuse me, can you help me out for a minute?" And I laughed because I had a bunch of people in the living room. I thought somebody snuck in and it was a joke. And I laughed and I smashed my head on the shower nozzle, woke up on the floor with my friend standing all over me and blood everywhere. I got 23 stitches, went and saw a doctor. He said, "You had a hallucination because you spent all day seeing Jesus. When you relaxed, you saw Jesus."
Okay.
So I had a lot of money in the bank. I quit. I was in 74 and I started doing comedy. 1979, I moved out to San Francisco and took off from there. And I've never looked back. So I'm very happy with my life, but 10 years ago, the comedy clubs dried up. Can't make any money playing at the Improv. My name's on the wall at the Comedy Store. I drive there, I get $10 for a show. Cost me $15 in gas just to go. So I decided I'm going to go out and entertain people my age. Because I'm not young anymore. I'm 66. Going to be 67 soon. Let me find out, I want to talk to you guys. You seem like a good group. It's a small group. So I'm going to ask you questions. What I want you to do, if your answer is yes, I want you to go, "Ee-haw." All right, we'll have a practice. On the count of 3, everybody go, "Ee-haw." As hard, wait till I count. Count of 3, hard and as long as you can. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Ee-haw. That was pretty good. All right. Remember, if your answer is yes, go "ee-haw." How many people are seeing me today for the first time?
Yeehaw!
How many have never seen me before?
Yeehaw!
I confused a couple people. How many people are here today? How many don't know where you are? How many really don't give a damn at this point? How many are just here for the food? All right, now I know what I'm working with. That's okay. What food? There's some around, isn't there? I see rolls here. You want a roll? I mean the food.
Only if you have water to go with it.
All right. Can we get her some water? I think she's thirsty now.
Water, I'm in jail.
Oh, really? Well, we'll get you sprung. I know the warden. So, I've been doing this for a while because I've learned that you guys are not going to come to the comedy clubs. So I might as well come out here and see you. And this is a nice place. This is beautiful here with the pool and the hot tub. I'm thinking about moving out here. This would be great. Because I've been in some places where the roaches won't go in. You know, and I've seen some big roaches in some of these places. Big roach. I saw a roach so big you could see its facial expression. That's a big roach. But I'm happy about my life because I'm alive, and that's the bottom line. I get out once in a while, I move around, and also right now I've been married to the same woman for 27 years in a row. Thank you. I say in a row because it is LA and marriages don't usually last very long. We met online in 1990 in the early days of the computer. Now, computers, when you date, you can see the person, right? You see who it is. There's description. We didn't have that back in 1990. We had black and white letters. And it was so slow, the letters would build themselves right in front of you as you were watching. So I typed my name and it went, boop, 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 boop. That was the P alone. By the time my name finished printing on the screen, my wife made a sandwich, ate it, and digested it. Made another sandwich. So we talked for about 40 hours over 3 days. And I fell in love with her on the phone because she has a southern accent. I worked a lot in the Deep South, and I love southern accents. Do we have anybody here from the Deep South? You? Where you from, ma'am? Don't choke.
Orangeburg, South Carolina.
South Carolina. We're in South Carolina.
Orangeburg.
Wow, my wife is from Woodruff. Woodruff, Roebuck, right on that line. Very small town, 197 people, everyone is related. And I know that there's inbreeding,
True.
because I've met people who are their own parents.
They're all.
My wife has a younger sister, married a boy she went to school with, and they had 3 children, each was born with an extra finger or toe. Duh. So we actually lived out there for a while. And before we moved, we were going out for a while. In those days, I had a motorcycle. I had a big blue Kawasaki 650 with a trunk on the back of it. And on the trunk, because I traveled all the time, I didn't have a car, on the trunk in big white letters it said Perry Cycle. Are you getting the joke yet? People didn't get it. People would actually pull up next to me in traffic and go, "Hey, what's a Perry Cycle?" "It's mine." "Your name's Perry?" "Yes, it is." "What are you, a comedian?" "Yes, I am." And they would try to run me over. So in those days, I was working out at the Comedy Store. We had a lot of famous people coming in there. That's where Andrew Dice Clay got started, and David Letterman was popping in, Richard Pryor, and one of my best buddies, Milton Berle, was stopping in to do sets. I met Milton Berle back in 1984. Milton Berle and Rodney Dangerfield, one of my other best friends. I was having dinner with Bill Cosby, otherwise known as Bill Cosby.
Right.
Thank you for getting that.
I'm the only one.
Yeah. And so we were working out there. We go out for about 6 months, and she says, "Why don't you come out to my house?" So I drove out to her house. I walk in, there's a guy sitting on the couch watching TV, and there's a little baby girl crawling around on the floor. There's a boy in the corner with a little girl, like 6 and 7 years old, and they're playing with blocks. And I said, "Honey, who are these kids?" She goes, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, I have children." And I'm looking at the 2 doors trying to figure out which one is going to get me out of the house quicker. You've heard the saying, don't get involved with somebody that has baggage? My wife owns Samsonite. But I got to know the kids, and I realized that the kids did not know their fathers. So after being with them, hanging out with them a year and a half, one day I got down on my knees beside the table and I gave everybody a little gold ring, put it on their hand, and I said, "I'd like to ask the 4 of you to marry me." And they all said okay, except for my son, who said, "Yeah, whatever, can we just have dinner now?" So we got married at City Hall in downtown Los Angeles. Now again, by EOS, how many people here had a nice fancy wedding with all your friends? Anybody? Nobody? All right. Back there? All right. Well, we got married in City Hall, which is about as nice as your laundry room, okay? Nothing, just gray marble. And I walked up to the counter. I said to the guy, "Hi, we'd like to get married." He goes, "Oh, yeah, you'd like to get married." I said, "Well, we'd like to get married." He says, "Oh, yeah, we can marry you." I said, "Great." He says, "So you all get married now? Because we do marrying here. We're good at marrying." And the kids are looking at each other, trying to get away. I said, "Yeah, we'd like to get married." He says, "Okay, have a seat. We call you when we're ready." We sit down, the kids are playing. About 20 minutes later, we hear, "Sarah and Perry, please come in." We walk in, it's the same guy, only now he's wearing a judge's robe. And he's speaking in perfect English. The accent had gone out the window. I guess he took the Rosetta Stone while he's waiting. And he starts reading, and he gets in, and he goes, "Now, Sarah, do you take Perry to be your lawfully wedded husband?" She goes, "I do." "And Perry, do you take Sarah to be your lawfully wedded wife?" I said, "Yes." "And do you take these people to be your family?" I said, "I guess so. I'm here, right?" So we got married. We started going on the road, started traveling, doing a comedy tour across the country. Our first stop on our honeymoon was in Barstow. Does it get any better than that? Kids, come on, let's go look at the big thermometer. It was just terrible. So we traveled across the country. We stopped off in every state. We wound up settling in South Carolina. We lived there for 2 years. Across the street from my wife's father, a big old country boy, 6'6", Jimmy, big boy, knew everybody in town because they were all his family. And one day he had a big party on his back 40, invited everybody over, They're all doing barbecue, and he starts calling everybody up. Hey, everybody, come here, come here. Hey, come here, come here. Hey, come here, Bobby, put the gun down. Bobby, put down the gun. Don't aim at it. Just put the gun down. Everybody, come here. And they made a big circle around us. And he says, hey, everybody, I want you to meet my new son-in-law. This is Perry. He's a real Jew boy. Everybody in the line went. And from the back of the line, I heard one say, I've never seen one before. One actually walked up to me, tall one. He's looking down at the top of my head. I said, what are you looking for? He said, you ain't got no horns. That's what it was like living out there. But they were good people. They were nice. They were very friendly. We lived there for 2 years. We came back. Now, my wife wanted more kids. I did not want children because back in the 60s, I was a hippie. I smoked marijuana, probably my body weight. And I had heard that if you do drugs, it changes your chromosomes. And when you have a child, it's born with like an extra arm or a finger growing out of its head. So I didn't want to have kids. My wife did. So she was on birth control. Then one day she says, listen, we need to talk. We go in the bedroom. She leans back, crosses her arms. And I looked at her and said, what did I do this time? She said, you did good. I said, what? She says, I'm pregnant. And I looked at her. And said, any idea who the father is? She didn't find that funny at all. She says, it's you. I went, great. I sat down on the bed. She says, grow into it. I sat there and I thought about it. And I said, okay, I guess I got to do this. And I watched my wife grow into it. I watched her grow and grow and grow. She gained 152 pounds. She was so round, if you pushed her sideways, she would roll back to a standing position. About 5 weeks before the baby was due, she started having horrible headaches, horrible pain. The vein in her head was popping out. We rushed her to the hospital. Doctor examines her. He says, Mr. Kurtz, we've got 20 minutes to get the baby out of your wife, or she is going to die. And I looked and I said, can you give me 30 minutes to think about that? He looked at me and said, what are you, a comedian? As a matter of fact, I am. He said, well, it's going to be a cesarean. You're welcome to come in during the operation. So I waited a little while and they come in. Come on in, Mr. Kurtz. I go in there. He's got her cut open from hip to hip. He's got both arms inside of her, and he's pulling things out and dropping them back in like he lost a watch in a drawer. And he's pulling stuff out. In the meanwhile, he's talking to the nurses about renting cars to go to Vegas. All right, so let's see. Who did you rent with? No, don't go with them. No, Alamo's no go. No, go with Enterprise. There's a card in my wallet. Take that out. I go, do you have any idea what you're doing? He says, hey, this isn't my first rodeo. I said, how many times have you done this? He goes, 3 or 4. I went, what? Thousands? Okay, right. He pulls her out. Now, how many people here, again by he has, how many people here have children? Yeah. Almost everybody, okay? And he's got children he doesn't even know about. I said that at a comedy club, and some guy in front raised his hand. I said, you got kids? He says, yeah. I said, how many you got? He said, 2. I said, from different women? He goes, no, same woman. I go, wow, 2 kids from the same woman? In LA? That's like a callback. So he takes the baby out, and he hands her to me. And I want you to think back to when you first saw your first baby. It's more beautiful than all the sunsets, all the sunrises, all the roses in the world. That baby is more beautiful than $1 million in cash. And I looked at her and I started to cry. And I'm standing there hysterical. I can't believe I got a little baby. Oh my God, she's got my ears. Oh my God. And the doctor says, would you like to cut the cord? And I said, she's plugged in? He says, the umbilical cord. I said, oh, that one. He walks me over to a little table, a little platform, and I put her down, and they give me a little blue scissors. Now, I thought that the cord was going to just snip. No, the cord's like steel. I go to cut the cord, and every time I squeeze the scissors, it's popping out of the scissors, squeezing out. They finally come over and they hold it for me and they cut it. They go, "We do that to everybody." I said, "You guys need to get out of the hospital once in a while." So we took her home. We named her Bella, which means beautiful. And I remember this was about 3-4 weeks after she was born. She was in the bassinet. And I got up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. I walked back and I hear, "Roar." And I jumped because I thought the devil was in my apartment. You ever hear the devil in a movie or TV? They always sound like, "I'm Lucifer, I'm the devil." I think it would be better if the devil sounded like Ethel Merman. Came out singing, "There's no business like soul business." So I keep walking, then I hear it again. And the smell hits me. And my eyelashes and eyebrows burst into flame. And I fell to the floor and I crawled into bed. And I said to my wife, "Honey, what is that horrible smell coming out of the baby?" She goes, "Oh, it's from the baby food. We give it to them at night and that gets all the gases out of their system." I said, "I wish you could have told me that in advance." She goes, "Get used to it." I said, "Okay." A couple nights later, we're all watching TV in the living room, watching a Disney movie. All of a sudden, my wife says, "You know what? I think I'm going to go watch a cop show." I thought, well, that's a little bit weird. Really upset me. So I figured I'd get even. I waited till she was sleeping. Middle of the night, I got up and I went into the kitchen and I ate some baby food.
Oh my God.
I waited about 30 minutes till my stomach was going. I crawled into bed. I woke up. I said, "Honey, pull my finger." She pulled my finger. She goes, "Oh my God, what's that horrible smell?" I said, "Baby food." So now my little treasure, it just turned 13 years old last week. She's this tall, and she's absolutely beautiful. And I know this because whenever I take her out, women always come up and do the same thing. "Your daughter is so pretty. Your wife must be stunning." Do I get credit for being part of the equation? I recall being there. I'm sorry. But nobody ever believes that I have a beautiful daughter. So I have a picture of her. Isn't that great? And she's very funny too. Surprise. We do a lot of karaoke together. And what usually happens is she'll sing and a woman will walk up and go, "Honey, you sing really great. You're beautiful." And then I walk up being a protective father, put my arm on her shoulder, and they say the same thing. "And honey, is this your grandpa?" She walks right up and goes, "Lady, it's a bad way to start a conversation. This is my father. He made me." And backs up. So we have a great time. She's just absolutely wonderful. And like I said, she's now going into 9th grade. If she gets through 8th grade, I'll be thrilled to do that. And she wants to travel. So I said, "When you graduate, we're going to go all over." She goes, "I want to go to the South." I said, "Why?" She goes, "People talk funny there." And they do. You know what it's like. The South people enjoy talking. We're in a hurry to do everything. We drive fast, we talk fast, we eat fast. In the South, when they talk, they have a Southern drawl. They drawl everything out. They don't just say hello. They go, "Hi! How are you? What's up?" And my wife has a favorite phrase. Her favorite phrase is, "I'm going over yonder." You ever hear that? I looked at 157 maps. There is no place called yonder. I don't know where she goes, but she always comes back. But I'm glad to have the kids. The older ones are all grown up now. They're 32, 30, and 28. And considering that I've been a comedian all my life, what's weird is my kids are all managers of retail stores. How does that connect in any way? The one thing I did teach them is that if you want to do something, you have to make it important to you. If it's important, it doesn't matter what it is, you will find a way to do it. And you have to remember this through life, that it's not just taking the first step. You got to take the first step and take another one and take another one. Always be looking uphill, because once you look downhill, that's when you start to go. If you can see B and you're at A, you will find a way to get there. So always be looking forward to the future. And try to stay active. I mean, you got a beautiful place here. Tonight's going to be rather cold, but you got a hot tub. Soak in a hot tub when you can. Hopefully it won't freeze over tonight. And talk to each other. That's the best thing you can do for your brain. They have proven that people get senile and get dementia when they lose their sense of curiosity and interaction. Where my mother lives, everybody is boring. Nobody talks to each other. They eat in their rooms. They don't have any entertainment. They have nothing. They just sit around. They wander around in the hall like the night of the Walking Dead. And she goes crazy. She goes, sometimes I want to slap these people to wake them up, but I'm not sure if they're up or not. And I said, don't do that, because you could kill somebody doing that. But the bottom line is you got to keep going. I did a show in a convalescent hospital about a month and a half ago, and everybody was in wheelchairs. Except for one woman, they rolled her in, she was strapped to a table. And they stood the table up like Bride of Frankenstein. And I said a joke, and nobody laughed. Down the hall, I could hear laughter. And they said, wow, I'm killing down there. And the guy says, don't say killing in here. She's here. Everybody else give her a round of applause. We've been waiting for you. Oh, man. Another thing you got to try and do is try to be healthy. It's not easy to eat healthy these days, but you got to try. I myself have diabetes. Anybody with diabetes? All right, just two of us? That's it? Wow, usually it's how many people don't have diabetes? You got it too? All right, there we go. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I got it because when I was 11 years old, my mother found me laying on my back on the floor of the kitchen drinking Hershey syrup out of a can. All right, now I put it in a cup, but I don't drink it out of a can. But I had this horrible desire for chocolate. I love chocolate. So about 18 years ago, I got diabetes, and I cut out drinking the regular soda. Now I only drink diet. But I've got my diabetes under control. So much that I almost eat what I want, but at night before I go to bed, I have a big chunk of dark chocolate. Now, regular chocolate is not good for you. Dark chocolate is good for you. It's different types of chocolate. It has more cocoa in there, which is actually good for your body. And it's got antioxidants, and it's great for your memory. So have that, because the bottom line is, if the body walks, the brain will follow. So keep yourself active. Think about jokes. Everybody loves jokes. Give you a perfect example. Guy comes in the house, he sits down, his wife comes running in. Honey, there's water in the carburetor. He says, what do you mean there's water in the carburetor? She goes, there's water in the carburetor. He says, there's no water in the carburetor. She goes, there's water in the carburetor. He goes, where's the car? She goes, in the pool. A couple comes walking out of a restaurant. They walk past a wishing well. The husband throws a quarter in, makes a wish. The wife throws a quarter in. She falls in and drowns.
He got his wish.
He goes, wow, it worked. Exactly. She figured it out.
That's right.
Guys are sitting there in the bar drinking. One guy's crying. The other one says to him, why are you crying? He says, my wife says I don't listen to her when she talks. And his friend says, so what does she say? He goes, I don't know. I don't listen to her when she talks. But marriage is a lot like wrestling. It starts out with a wedding ring, then it ends up with suffering. It's all the same thing, you know. How many people here were married at some point? Anybody been married?
Yeah.
Anybody still married? Couple people? All right, good. That's great. Who's married the longest? Anybody married over 50 years? No, because I had a couple sitting in the front row, and she had her hand on the inside of his leg. So I said, are you guys together? And she goes, whatever. I said, how long you been together? She goes, 54 years. I said, 54 years? That's a long time. How long you been married? She goes, 4 years. I said, so you knew each other for 50 years, and then you got married. What made you rush into it? She says, we were waiting for our spouses to die. True story, can't make stuff up like this. Had another couple sitting in the back, and they were kissing. It was a pool party, and they were kissing in the back. And I said, you guys in the back, how you doing? He stops for a second, looks up, he goes, we're okay, we're busy. I go, yeah, I can see you're busy right now. How long you guys been together? He goes, we've been married for 78 years. I said, that's amazing, how old are you? He said, we're both 98. Our birthdays are a day apart. We met in 3rd grade. I said, that is absolutely amazing. What do you think is the magic that has kept the two of you together all this time? He goes, oh, we stopped talking to each other about 20 years ago. Yeah, but I get a lot of questions. I go out and do karaoke when I'm not doing comedy, and I do something that I'm going to show you in a little while. In fact, I just got a letter on Tuesday from the Late Late Show with James Corden. They want me to do the show for next year, so I'm very excited. I'll show you what I'm going to do there. But when I go out, it's all young people. And they always come up to me and they go, how old are you? And I go, I'm 66. They go, wow, you got such good hair. But I always have guys that are taller than me tell me I have too much hair. And you know who these guys are? They're the really tall ones with a little tiny bald spot on the top that nobody can see. Or they say to me, do you darken your hair? Yeah, I darken it and then I spray the gray back into it. But I'm trying to stay alive, trying to keep myself healthy. I walk a lot. Walking's really good for you. I swim as much as I can. And I chase my daughter when we go out. Like I said, the other ones, they're all out of the house now. And I got a brother back in Philadelphia whose second daughter's getting married tomorrow. And this is what kind of a Jew he is. He says, I'm glad my daughter's getting married because now I don't have to pay her rent or her car insurance or her health care. I said, do you care that she's happy? He goes, yeah, I guess. I guess, yeah, okay, but she's out of the house. That's what's important. But I'm glad you guys came down today. It's nice. I want to thank you for keeping this table completely empty. That's good, in case I want to lay down and take a nap. That's all right. Oh, man. Do we have anybody here that was in the entertainment field? Any ex-entertainers? No? Any veterans here? Oh, you are? What? Your husband, what did he do?
Musician, I play guitar, electric guitar.
Oh, all right. Well, I got something electric here. I got a little keyboard I'll play. Do we have any veterans? Because we just had Veterans Day last week. Any vets? Robert?
Robert.
All right. I guess she knows who you are. They obviously know you. Yeah, back in 1968, my number was 93. And they were taking everybody up to 148 in that year. And I went in there and I sat down for the interview. And after about 20 minutes, the guy looks at me and goes, you know, Mr. Kurtz, I appreciate you coming down, but you're just way too funny. You're going to be nothing but trouble if we send you over there. I go, why? I really like shooting guns. He goes, no. We don't need you going over there. So I didn't go. But I did lose a lot of friends that went. So I respect veterans because it's a tough choice to do, but you saved our country. And that's what's important. Wait, here comes, my ride's coming over right now. There we go. But you guys are good. You're an active group. Sometimes I play where they're not active. You guys get out, you walk around. Sometimes they're all in one building. You know, they roll in. Sometimes they're half asleep. The worst is the snorers. Because I had one lady in the back of the room kept falling asleep, and she started going, What? Okay. What? Okay. All right. Through the whole show, dude. Wake it up. Okay. Right back in. Sometimes they come in, they see me, they got to turn up their hearing aids. Then they hear me and they turn them back down. But I'm happy with my life. I'm out, I'm doing it, I'm living my life, I'm having fun. And that's why jokes always help us. They always help us, you know. Anybody have a good joke you want to tell? Sylvia? She's going like,
It's a riddle.
okay, riddles are good. Go ahead.
So what are the 3 words that seniors should not use that, don't tell them if you heard this before. And you probably don't remember.
What are the 3 words that seniors should not use?
Yeah, and they all have double E's.
They all have double E's.
Knee. There you go. No, not we. Pee, sleep, and knee.
Pee, sleep, and me.
Knee.
Knee, as in your knee.
You know, have you ever been just walking down the street and your knee just give away, you don't know what happened?
Right. And don't pee at the same time.
I know, have you ever went to sleep for your afternoon nap and woke up at your bedtime?
For me, it's all the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. See,
Okay, Robert had one.
Can I use a microphone?
Sure, come on up here.
It's a knock knock joke. So it's knock knock. Nobody.
This is more severe.
Nobody who. Get out of here! Get out of here!
Okay, let me explain that to you.
Okay.
See, if nobody was there, they wouldn't have said anything, all right? You guys are great. But see, this is good. You guys are active. You're getting the jokes. I don't have to explain this. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes they're not. Oh, you got a hand up back there?
I'm gonna give you guys a riddle.
Okay.
I went to town riding, but yet I was walking.
I went to town riding, but I was walking.
You lost me there.
I was riding. We're not done. Come on, y'all. Let's put it on horse. Riding on a horse or riding on a buggy. Riding.
In a car?
I was riding
And
and
it's a
then I was walking.
Okay? I'll give you a little hint. It doesn't matter what I was riding.
I went to town.
I went to town riding, but yet I was walking.
You got me.
Okay. Okay.
You got out of your car. You was,
Okay, this is mine now.
I will tell you this here. I heard this riddle when I was a little boy, and my father told it to me. So it's real old.
Okay.
And most of the time when I tell it, I never get an answer.
All right. What is the answer?
Yet I was a dog.
Oh, a dog. Yes, I was a.
Yet I was a dog.
A dog?
Dog?
Like woof woof.
Like a dog. A regular
Full-name
dog.
dog.
Yet, okay, you.
Yet I
I
was a
went
dog.
to town riding, I was riding, but yet my dog was walking.
Yeah. Oh, we know.
Oh.
Okay.
That's over our heads.
You just confused the hell out of everybody there. They are lost.
I was almost 25 years old before my father finally told me the answer to that riddle.
All right.
You gonna make us wait that long or
No, I already told you the answer.
You
He
told
was
us
a dog riding in the car, but then he was walking.
Walking.
Yeah.
They walk around in the car.
Oh.
Don't say they get up, they walk in the car, but they're riding. Makes sense.
That's why I told you it didn't matter what I was
All right, there you go. All right. That's okay. That's okay. They worked it out. They got it now. Yeah.
Carry on.
All right. Yeah. Right now, I'm getting a little warm. This jacket.
We want a dog joke.
You want a dog joke?
No, adult.
Adult jokes?
Yeah. X-rated.
Oh, you gotta be just, you can't be.
I stay away from that stuff. I want to keep this clean. No. I did that with the opening joke.
Oh, I wasn't here.
All right, here I will do some for you since it's mostly ladies. I am getting kind of warm, and this jacket is very warm. So I'm, as we say, I'm going to take it off.
That's right.
All right, you ready? You got your dollar bills ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I was going to say, come up here and stuff it in my pants, but then you're going to want change. That's the worst thing to happen to a male stripper is when they put a dollar bill in your pants and then they take it out. That is the worst place on your body to get a paper cut.
How would you know?
Oh, you guys are great. See, that's the thing, one thing that bothers me is that people have a misconception about getting older. Like, for instance, we're all called seniors. I don't like that word. I think we should be called vintage. Because vintage means you've been around a while, you have a lot of value, and you're still working. You've been knocked down, you're fixed up, and we're still working. Because let's face it, we built the country. It was based on us. And now they're trying to take it through. And we don't know what's happening these days. You know, we had that big shooting in Las Vegas a couple weeks ago. That was horrible. It was a country western concert, you know. And look, I don't like country music either. But I'm not getting away from climbing up there. You know, 26 stories up there firing at people. You know what I think they should do? They should issue bulletproof clothing to all the people. Bulletproof shirts, bulletproof pants. And then if these guys want to shoot somebody, they have to work on it. Stop moving your head, I can't get you. You know, I just wish they had Trump out there. He would have been an easy target. Aim for the pumpkin in the corner. I don't know what's going to happen with him. I just don't know. I am so afraid. You know, and then all the sexual harassment suits going on now. You know, I have to file against an exotic dancer who touched me in an inappropriate way. You know. Really, it was embarrassing. After 20 minutes, I asked her to stop. 25 minutes. I was ready for a nap after that. That was more than enough for me. All right, this couple's driving along on the freeway. They get pulled over by a cop. Cop knocks on the window. The gentleman rolls the window down. He goes, "Can I help you?" And the cop says, "Yes." "Do you know why I pulled you over?" And he looks at the cop and goes, "'Cause you're a jerk?" Cop goes, "That's a bad way to start a conversation, sir. I pulled you over because you're going 65 and a 35. Guy goes, "I was not." The cop goes, "You were, sir." And his wife goes, "He was doing 65 before that." And he goes, "Really?" She goes, "And he was doing 70 before that." He goes, "Really?" And then the husband looks at his wife and says, "Will you shut up?" She goes, "You shut up." He goes, "No, you shut up." And they start yelling at each other. And the cop sticks his head and he says, "Do you guys always fight like this?" She goes, "Only when he's drunk." That's a good one. All right, you want me to write that down for you?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that's the thing. We get older, our bodies change. Remember when you were young, your body was thin and flat, and take a shower, all you had to do is wash the soap off, is put your arms up and it washed off. Then you hit 40 and gravity kicks in, and your parts get stretched out. Now to wash the soap off, you have to lift things out of the way. Our hair goes gray. Everybody's hair goes gray eventually. You know, some of us lose our hair, right? Some of us go balding. And our teeth, dentures. Anybody here not have dentures? 2 people, 3 people. I got a finger for you. Yeah, I mean, you ever do this when you first get them? I think everybody does. You first get your dentures about 6-7 months after you get them. You leave the house, you're driving somewhere, you're about 30 minutes away from your house, and you suddenly remember you forgot to put your teeth in. So you talk to first thing you do, you go, "Oh my God." And then you spend the rest of the day talking to people with your hand over and out. "Oh my God, I forgot to put my teeth in. Oh my God." Yeah, it's all part of getting older. You know, we're not thin, we're not healthy, but we're alive, and that's the bottom line here. All right, she came back. We were wondering where you went. Went to meet your boyfriend?
No, she went to meet my boyfriend.
She went to meet your boyfriend?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to know that.
All right, did you get the money?
No.
Yeah, that's why it took you so long.
That's what I kept saying. You guys are great. I'm just going to pass the microphone along. You guys are great. Oh, at least she's working for a living, right? That's it. Working for a living. Oh. There we go. Oh, she's dancing for us too. I got a couple dollar bills for you, honey. Oh man. Oh. You remind me, when we moved back from South Carolina, we were living in downtown, right on Spring Street, and there's a lot of women of the night on the street there, you know, and I go out every night to go do comedy, and one night I was walking along, I walked past one, and I didn't even say anything to her, and she tells me to get lost. I said, I didn't even say anything to you. She goes, well, that's in case you're thinking about it. And then as I walked away, I heard the last thing a man wants to hear is, even if you were the last man on earth, I think that's the worst insult you can say. Even if you were the last, and I said, honey, I'm not really interested. You know, and then she fell down and fell asleep. So I took her money and I left. Oh God, you guys are terrific. I hate leaving you. Any questions so far? No? How many people are still here? Yeah, how many still don't know where you are? All right, how many really don't care at this point either? All right. Well, I'm going to do something for you here a little bit different. I know you guys are kind of a musical group because we have some people inclined that way. So we're going to do a little music, and we're going to do some sing-alongs. We're going to start out with a song called When the Saints Go Marching In. You remember this one? Yeah. So if you know it, jump right in. Ready? Oh, when the saints go marching in, go marching in. Everyone, when the saints go marching in, I wanna be in that number. When the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints, everybody, the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in, I wanna be in that number. When the saints go marching. Look at that, you did it yourself. Yeah, you guys did it completely unassisted. We should go on the road. We'll get a bus. We'll tour. We'll call it the Geezer Tour.
I know. Geriatric Express.
The Geriatric Express. There we go. We roll into your town, but we're all walking.
Just don't bring no baby food.
Just don't bring no baby food. That's it. You're going to eat that, sit in the back, please. All right, let's do a song that goes back to childhood. Row, row, row your boat. Again, two-parter. Ready? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Keep going. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Very good. All right. Here's another joke for you. Lady sitting there in a bar, very pretty lady sitting there in a restaurant eating dinner, and the man sitting across to her. All of a sudden she sneezes, and her glass eye pops out of her head, flies across the room, and the guy catches it. And he walks in and goes, I believe this is yours. She says, thank you. She pops it back in. She says, you're so nice, why don't you join me for dinner? So he sits down, they have a great dinner, great conversation. They really hit it off. She says, listen, let's go out for a drink. They go out drinking, they go dancing, they wind up back at her place. The next morning they're laying in bed, And he looks and goes, "You're so nice. Do you do this with every guy you meet?" She goes, "No, you just happen to catch my eye." A lady walks in the bar, she's 85 years old, hobbles in there, she's got a parakeet on her shoulder. Bartender says, "Sadie, what's with the parakeet?" She goes, "Well, any man that can tell me what the parakeet weighs takes me home that night." And he goes, "Okay, I'll tell her." He goes, "Hey, everybody, Sadie's got a parakeet on her shoulder. Anybody tells her what it weighs can take her home." They're all quiet for a while. Finally, the guy walks up there and says, "Hey, Sadie, 10 pounds. She goes, "Close enough, let's go." You got to take what you can get, right? Well, now, we're going to kick it up a notch. This is my keytar. This is what I'll be doing, hopefully, on the show. It's called the keytar because it's a combination of a keyboard and a guitar. The way it works, you turn it on, you hit a button, and you're playing rhythm and blues. And when you're done with the song, you just hit a button and it goes. Isn't that cool? It's got it all built right in. You ever see a scary movie? You know somebody's going to die when you hear this. Don't turn around, keep running. So what I want to do with this is I want to do another song that you all probably remember. It's called Zippity Doo-Dah. All right, here we go. Zippity Doo-Dah, zippity-yay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine coming my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Mr. Bluebird on my shoulder. It's the truth, it's actual. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. Wonderful feeling, wonderful day. Very good. Do you guys ever do singing here, like group singing, get together? And you should think about it because you really got some talent there. Now I'm going to do one more thing for you. We're going to do a song called Louie Louie. Now you probably remember the song, but nobody remembers the lyrics because when they recorded the song, they were really drunk. They were on the radio. They got interviewed about 2 years ago. They admitted they were so drunk, they don't know what they said. All they remember is the part, Louie, Louie, oh baby, we gotta go now. Ay, 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 ay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make up the rest of the song, but I need somebody to join the band. Anybody here knows how to play tambourine? No? It's really easy. You take it and you go like this. You think you can do it? Can you come up here so they can see you? Take your time. They're not going anywhere. That's what Robert's for. Ooh, look, he's young and strong. He's strong, but odor isn't everything. It's always better when the band is together. She's still singing. That's great. All right, this is for you. You just tap it in time with the music. And if you want to pull out a chair and sit down up here, that's okay. All right, here we go. Ooh, look at it, triple time. Wow. She's got it together. She's right on the beat. She's hitting everyone. It's really neat. She's even dancing. She's moving to and fro. She's doing this, but she don't even know what for. That's right, now two of you are clapping. I'm up here rapping. That's right, I'm doing it, I don't know why. A lot of people say, well, rapping just started. Well, Bob Dylan did it years ago, who knows why. But it's the thing I do, it's all about you. Now I wanna hear you sing a Louie Lou. Come on, Louie Lou, what play? Oh baby, we gotta go now. I said a Louie Lou, oh baby, we gotta go now. Now a lot of you are swinging back and forth, you're leaning to the left, you're leaning to the right. I'm telling you, not guessing. I'm seeing you all are smiling at me, and the lady in the back got her camera on me. Well, take a picture, baby, show this to your friends, cause when we get started, well, it never ever ends. A Louie Lou, oh baby, we gotta go now. I said a Louie Lou, oh baby, we gotta go now. I see you back there. You just came in through the door. You left, I guess you came back cause you were bored. He's dancing back there, swing his hands all around. We're up here, we're gonna make it all go down. Louie Lou, oh baby, we gotta go now. Alright, now I'm gonna do something for you, which is a little bit different. This is what I call karaoke. Karaoke. Do not try this at home. Here we go. My tongue is bleeding and you're laughing. That's great, now I sound like Daffy Duck. Oh wait, let's try and sing this one more time. You ready? Here we go, everybody now. Louie Lou, oh baby, we gotta go now. I said a Louie Lou, oh baby, we gotta go now. Well, I gotta go. My name is Kurtz. Watch for me next year on the Late Late Show. And please, whatever you do, love each other. Remember, you are a family living in one community. Take care of each other. Most important thing, if you see somebody sitting there and they're staring at the ground, just walk over and say, you want to talk? You might save a life. Meanwhile, keep yourselves going. Catch you next time. Thank you.
All right.
You were great. You really killed it with that. You were wonderful. Thank you, dear. I'll meet you back in your room in a little while.
Hello, Wes.
Wow.
Hey, Wes, we got to get us a group together.
Okay, that's good.
She ain't done. I've awakened the sleeping beast. I gotta tell you, I've had a lot of tambourine players, and you were the best I ever had.